After waking up on a ship in the middle of a storm, Hyde and Gamorg soon learned 2 years had passed since the Black Tower. They also learned that several towers scatter the landscape, and stopping the Emerald Council from activating them was their new mission. After surviving an encounter with a great sea serpent, the party prepares to reach the next tower, somewhere in the middle of the vast waters.
As the ship navigator comes up to Captain Van Deer and opens up the map that they've been following, she points to a spot in the middle of the ocean that you are floating in, and she says, "Captain, I believe we're here." And you all look around, and now that the sea serpent has swam off, and the storm has died down, the waves are starting to settle. And as you look left, right, north, south, east, west, there's no land in sight.
Is this is our destination underwater? Do we know that, Captain?
The captain she's wiping the blood off of her blade, which is still smoking a little bit from having been ignited on fire. And she kind of flips it and sheathes it into the side of her chair and just says, "Well, to be honest, we were really hoping that it wasn't going to be, but we were prepared should it be something that we had to delve for. Looks like we're going under the drink. Don't suppose either of you are much at swimming?"
I can swim.
I hate it.
Well, you don't have to go. She begins to shout out a couple orders, ordering the first mate, "Hargan, bring up, do a quick check on the crew, move the dead and the injured, get them down to stitches, and then bring up the chest if you would."
Captain, are we going to do something with this giant snake? Could we use any of it, or are we just going to leave it on the drink, as you call it?
You mean that one that's sinking under the water as we speak?
Well, we had it hooked with hooks, maybe?
You sort of did, but the whole body is starting to go under. You're kind of keeping the tail afloat, but it wants to sink at this point.
I guess I should just let go of these then. The rope just...
Not unless you plan to be the one to dress it and clean it and serve it up. I'm not sure how Funkin would react to that.
It just seems like a lot of waste, but hey, I don't know anything about snakes, giant snakes, so...
we ate a giant
sink
centipede
below the
one
surface.
Time, and it tasted really good.
It was okay for a desert creature. It was
really... pretty... It's pretty good.
This is why I stay on the ocean. It will not go to waste. It will sink beneath the waves. It will provide food for many a creature, and its bones eventually a home for others. That's the way of the sea. And she turns and heads off another direction, and you actually see her go and stop near one of the masts, and there's like this lever that comes out of the deck next to the mast as well. She leans down and grabs these ropes, and they have clips on the end of them, and she begins clipping. She clips 2 to the front of her chair, and then kind of swivels and clips 2 to the back, and then she grabs the lever and throws it, and these ropes go taut, and they pull her in her chair all the way up to the crow's nest, and it's fast. It's like you can see the pulley systems going, and as she gets to the top, she grabs something and like swings her way up onto the crow's nest and detaches the clips, and you see her kind of moving about up top, shouting down at the crew and taking watch over her ship. About this time, the first mate, Hargan, comes up, and he's got a chest in his hands, a small chest, and he addresses the both of you. Well, Mr. Cricket was supposed to be with us on this. He's not in any way, shape, or form to be going into the water. I'll lead one of ours down, but if you were to come along, it would honestly be quite helpful. You probably know more about what we might find down there than we do.
I'm down.
Do we have to go? Is my question. Is what I want to know.
You do not. You're under no obligation. But we're going under to see if we can.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where the temple's supposed to be.
It's where the action is gonna happen. Yep. Understood.
I put my hand on your shoulder, and I'm just like, we've been through worse. We can do it. We got this.
Yes, but there's just something about the ocean and like infinite darkness and like giant snakes that's like, it's really freaking me out, and like diving deeper, it's a whole new level for me. Like, I don't know. But I mean, if it's what we must do, I guess it's fine.
Again,
I really thought that you were gonna come
and
back with something.
honestly, if your nerves are going to leave you in the middle of it, I'd rather not have you down there. I need men who will stay true if what we find down there is dangerous, as it most surely shall be. I imagine.
I'll stay true. I got it.
Yeah, you can trust him. He's all right.
He gives you a long look, and like you get the sense of like someone who's sizing you up and realize, like, knowing that their life is going to be in your hands as much as yours are in theirs. And he's going to make an insight check real quick.
I will say, like, I am like this. It's like, I don't think you've seen through everything that me and Gamora have gone through. Like, I don't think you've seen Hyde like this shaken up before.
Yeah, he gives you a look up and down, and he's like, find your legs fast. And then sets the chest down and begins to open it up. You hear behind you people beginning to start to do what they can to fix the boat up. You see the bodies of the crew members who were left. 2 had been eaten. 1 had been knocked over the ship, and so that body has been retrieved. The one dead body that's left on the ship and the injured are being tended to in this moment. The small goblin comes up a moment later holding a couple items in her arms as well, larger items that wouldn't have fit in the chest. But Hargan opens the chest up and he begins pulling out these small round vials with little stoppers on top. And inside you see this kind of greenish, thick liquid that almost seems to have like little pieces of, whether it's leaves or seaweed or something floating in it. And he sets out 4 of them. And then turns to you and holding one of them, he says, so these are potions of breathing. These will give us an hour under the water in order to be able to breathe it as if we were fishmen ourselves. Wow. I have done this once before. It is very disconcerting. So I'll walk you through it. But that transition from normal air to seawater is something. So just be prepared.
Cool.
Did you plan on bringing your beast?
No, most definitely not. No, she's gonna stay up here.
Okay, good. So it'll be myself, Pack, as he mentions to the goblin, and then the 2 of you. So we'll each have one. So we'll hold these until we're ready to dive in, and then take them.
Yes, sir.
Pack, do you have those things? And the goblin kind of comes, yeah, I got them here. And she dumps a couple things on the table. You see a belt that almost looks like, sort of like a powerlifting belt, like it's really wide in places. It has these big, thick clips that go along the back. Seems to be made out of some sort of thick leather. And then you see a javelin that has some runes etched across it. And Hargan kind of mentions, he goes, we don't have a plethora of magical items, but these are a couple things we scrounged up that might come in handy. That's a belt of hill giant strength and a javelin of lightning. If you feel like either of those would be useful for you, for the two of you.
Thank you.
That's great.
So,
Question.
those items, you can decide on who gets what, and then you can add them to your inventories and make sure to attune to them should they need that. You do have, I'm going to say that in the process of kind of preparations and getting the ship ready and dropping anchor and everything, you have an hour here to get a short rest should you want one, and also attune to any of these items you might want to.
Cool. I am fairly strong, but I would not say no to some more strength.
Yeah, no, I feel like you should take the belt, perhaps. And I don't know. Do you think that if you throw a javelin of lightning in the middle of the ocean, like, aren't we all gonna get electrocuted?
What do you mean?
Make an Arcana check, whoever wants to.
I don't even understand the concept of like electricity and water, so I'm just kind of like, what are you talking about?
I love that very sincere. What do you mean?
So then you're not rolling this Arcana check. Don't worry.
No.
I got a 14, and then my Arcana is probably not great. Oh, +2, 16 total.
16? Okay. Magical items, unless there's a specific reason why not, tend to function despite, water, fire, whatnot, as you would expect. So you can't be 100% certain, but you'd imagine that a lightning bolt under the water, if it's magical, may not exhibit quite the same properties as like actual lightning or actual electricity hitting the water.
You know what, Gamal? Don't worry about it. Something that I do want to ask though is, do you have any tips perhaps for like not dying in the water?
It's a great question. I mean, I think honestly, like with the breathing underwater, that's half the battle.
What
I
about?
think we'll be good.
I've only swam like maybe twice in my life because of need, and I mean I can not drown, but if we're going like leagues underwater, or I mean maybe not leagues, but like a significant depth, I don't know if I can like stay down or like I don't know anything. Any pointers?
Hargan walks by carrying a cannonball, and he just says, "Oh no, don't worry about that. We're gonna sink fast."
Oh, that is even more scary than I previously thought. Okay, great. Just gonna be strapped to a cannonball sinking.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yep.
It's all good. You're gonna be fine. Don't worry about it.
Gonna be.
Trust me. I know how you feel. I've been there. I remember the first time I cooked bacon for my dad. It was terrifying. And my dad has very, very high standards for bacon. So you can imagine. I mean, I was feeling what you're feeling. But I made it. I made it through.
That was before he left?
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
It was before.
That wasn't like the reason, right? The bacon wasn't like.
No, the bacon was great. He
okay.
loved it.
Good.
One of the few things he wasn't disappointed in me about.
Come on. You're great. You're a great person. Not even a fighter.
You know what?
You're like a great person. I enjoy being around you.
I appreciate that. And, I think I'm at a place right now where I can accept that, regardless of what my dad thought of me.
Okay. I feel better about swimming now that you shared your dad bacon story. That really helped me.
Good.
The
Good.
layers to this guy's family life are very fascinating.
I love it. All right, so I'm going to attune to the lightning bolt. What was it, javelin or
Javelin of lightning.
javelin
I
of
believe.
lightning?
Yeah.
And so then, Gamorg, you have the Belt of Hill Giant Strength. So that will increase your strength score to 21, giving you a +5 bonus to strength checks while wearing it. And the Javelin of Lightning has a 120-foot straight line range when you use it as a lightning bolt. That does, I think, something like 5d6, 4d6 damage, in addition to its javelin damage. So a very powerful one-time use per day thing. After it's used once, it needs to recharge until the next day.
Got it. While we're taking this time as well, I think that I'm just kind of nervous and I'm fidgeting, and I reach into my pocket and I pull out that ring that I was kind of playing around with before, and we heard some sort of voice and I never attuned to it before.
Okay.
But just trying to find something to do and not think about the infinite depths. I'm just gonna take out the ring and look at it and put it on and just kind of focus on it for a while.
What do you do once you put it on?
Well, I know I heard a voice
Are you planning
before,
to attune to it?
so I'm just gonna put
or-
it on. Yes, so I'm gonna put it on, and I'm gonna look at it, and I'm gonna spend the next 30 minutes like kind of fidgeting with it, looking at it, concentrating on it.
All right, so because your Javelin of Lightning is not an attunement weapon, you do have the opportunity to spend your short rest attuning to the ring. As you focus on it and look at it, you begin to receive kind of the download of its properties. It shields the mind from any sort of probe into it to read thoughts or understand emotions. And as you finish the hour with the ring on your finger, you just hear a voice as if speaking directly in your ear. How long has it been?
It depends. Who are you?
This is Hyde, right?
Who is this?
It's me. It's Meccan.
Meccan.
How long has it been since I died? I assume I'm dead.
Yes, we killed you. That wasn't you?
No, it's me. See, after I died, I don't know if it's my soul or my mind or I don't know what exactly, but the ring trapped it, held it. And I feel like I could go. But honestly, I've been so curious and reluctant to take the final step.
You feel like you could go where?
To whatever's next. I don't feel like I'm bound here. My spirit could go. But I can be here, and I'm curious. I'm sorry, it's very disorienting. There's nothing, it's just darkness. I can't even hear anything, it's silence except for you, now that you have the ring. How long has it been?
It's to my understanding, it's been around 3 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
It is.
At least it's felt like it. What?
Megan, why are you...
Did you stop? Did you stop what I was trying to do?
We're working on it. Why did you do it, Megan? Why do such a thing?
It's so hard to explain. It's so hard to explain. I don't even know if I really knew what I was doing. You read the books, and something puts its hooks into your mind, and you don't even at first think. At first, I didn't even believe I was doing it for Stith. I thought, no, I would never bend the knee to Stith, but the hooks were in there, whether I knew it or not. And before long, I found myself hearing his voice and acting on his wishes, and it's not that I was doing it against my will. I wanted to, but it's as if I didn't. I can think clearly now that I'm not in my body, that I have clarity, and I wouldn't have done that if I had had clarity.
Megan, is this ring going to try to take control of me or something like that, or is that not part of the equation?
No, the ring is just a tool, and it holds my mind until I go. Because it was shielding my mind. But no, the ring is not. The ring was a separate thing. I stole the ring to keep Master Erevan from being able to catch on to what my plans were.
Erevan. You know, he followed on your tracks.
No,
and now
no.
He's involved in the same business that you were.
No!
And now we're trying to fix all of this. And Megan, I apologize for rushing to judgment and for killing you. There's no better way to put that, but we truly believe, we still do. We truly believe that we're doing the right thing.
You've got to stop Stith. It's... all of it comes back to Stith. He won't stop until he's broken through. He'll put whatever deceit, whatever lies into the hearts of anyone he can, but to make them think they're doing the right thing. But in the end, it's all about him trying to come back. And if he can come back without letting the other gods return, he'll have reign.
Don't worry. We are with friends, and we are taking steps, albeit small, to fix this. You can stay here as long as you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'll stay for a while. I'm scared to go to whatever's next.
All right. If you have any tips for diving underwater for immeasurable depths, I'm all ears.
You should find a potion of water breathing, if you can. That'll set you straight.
Right. That doesn't help me at all. Thank you, Megan. And again, I apologize. We didn't end on the best terms.
I didn't give you much
and
of a choice.
And you were just a kid.
I summoned hellhounds on you. I would have done the same thing in your position. I've had time to think, and like I said, my head is clear, and it wasn't clear before.
All right.
Go silent.
Well,
so the hour comes to an end, and you hear a whistle come from up.
Join Gamorg.
Perfect. So as you're joining Gamorg, you hear a whistle up in the crow's nest, and you look up and see Captain Vendier kind of blowing on a whistle, and she points. He's like, We're in the final spot. Men, prepare. And then she kind of clips in and starts to descend on that pulley system. As you all walk over to the edge of the ship, kind of having tightened your valuables, stowed your weapons, you have your new magic items on you, and the 4 potions of water breathing are handed out. And the captain comes up behind you all and just says, well, Godspeed to all of you. We honestly don't know what you're going to find down there. If it's too much, come back up. We'll figure something out. But if you can do anything to put an end to the usability of this one of these last temples, we have to render this inert before the council finds it. You have 1 hour. Use it wisely.
We got this.
And you all turn, and you take your potions, and they are salty and thick, and it's hard to swallow. It's like you have to choke it down and push it down. And as you do, you almost feel like it's getting into your lungs, like your breathing becomes heavier. In your chest, it just feels pressure against it. And as Hargan finishes his, he looks over to the two of you and says, unpleasant, I told you, but that's... get ready for the weird transition. And he jumps and beautifully dives. A man who's done this many, many times before, having lived on the sea. And the goblin pack looks up at you and goes, here we go! And cannonballs off the side and makes this tiny little poof splash. They both surface, and then 2 cannonballs are rolled over the edge, and they grab them and begin to sink. The 2 of you join.
You good, Hyde?
Yes. Before I go, I just I grab the nearest person near me, and I grab them and take care of that dire wolf. Okay, she is a sweetheart. Just make sure she doesn't die.
All right.
What's your name, sailor?
Well, my name is, damn it, I gotta find one. I've got lots of them, I just didn't have it up in time.
Yes.
So this halfling man looks at you and says, Sam Fastfoot.
All right, Sam. If I come back and my dire wolf is dead, I will kill you. But you're gonna be fine. It's all gonna be good.
What if it eats me?
It's okay. It's fine. Don't
Should
worry
be
about
good.
it.
Don't worry
It's not
about it.
fine. And cannonballs are at the ready. Like, do you want them, or do you want us to send them in after you?
I'll take it now.
Whatever he wants. I'll do
Here you go. And they kind of push it in your hands in such a way that it sends you off balance, and you step off the ship and fall. Hyde, you join?
Yep.
Okay. You step off, and as you down, you see Luna one last time before descending under the waters. It takes several minutes to sink, and you're worried at first. There's an instinctive amount of just holding your breath as you go underwater. And then it gets to be about minute 2, minute 3, and you're squirming and trying to not breathe. And then around minute 4, you just can't anymore. And you feel your lungs fill with water. And it's heavy, and you worry that you're about to choke. You almost instinctively begin to gag. And then you exhale. And you inhale. And you exhale. And it still feels heavy. It's as if someone is pressing on your chest while you breathe. But as you slow your breathing, you begin to breathe the water of the ocean. All in all, it takes about 7 to 8 minutes to hit bottom. You know that it'll take at least that amount to go back up to the top, leaving you with 45 minutes, maybe less, here on the ocean floor to carry out your mission. And we're going to time it. I have a 45-minute timer here that I will be starting And you, as the players, will be on a 45-minute timer to find, enter, and deal with whatever dangers this underwater tower may provide. As you hit the floor, I want to give you one last chance. Anything you want to be doing or prepping or thinking as you're sinking before your feet hit the floor. All right. Your feet hit the floor, dust kicks up, and the 45 minutes begins. You look ahead of you and you can see Hargan and Pack moving, and you begin to move after them, and you're walking, and it's murky at first, but then all of a sudden, after just a few steps, you begin to see the shape of a tower under the water. It is a dark black stone circular tower, very similar to what you saw in the jungles of Ichten. It, however, has been grown up with coral and various vines and whatnot. You see fish swimming in and out of it through those windows that are halfway up. And as you continue to walk and get closer, you see a main door, very, very similar to the large double door, the Black Tower in Ichten. And Hargan and Pack kind of stop about 10, 15 feet outside that door and wait for you. You catch up. And they motion to you, and Hargan begins to speak. And it's very muffled. It's as if you have your hands clamped over your ears. But you're between watching his mouth and what audio does come through, you begin to hear him say, "All right, this seems like the entrance. Can't believe it, but there was a tower here. What do we do?"
At the other tower, we just went in.
We go in.
All right.
The door was open, so.
And you look and you see the doors are open. There is a ton of seaweed and vines that have grown up over it. So from the distance you couldn't tell it was open, but as you look a little closer, the doors themselves are swung open.
Quick question.
Yes.
Are we carrying the cannonballs?
You can be.
Stay.
I mean, they will slow you down if you continue to walk. You also get the feeling that the pressure of the water at this point is keeping you to the floor. So I would say you could drop the cannonballs.
I'm just gonna drop it then. Yeah.
Sure. There's a little bit of that kind of moonwalk bounciness where you can kind of float a little bit, but overall the pressure of the water at this depth is keeping you kind of down.
Is it completely dark around us? Is there any light hitting the bottom?
It is very, very dark. It is just barely enough light to make out vague shapes. But you've been able to follow a magical torch that Hargan is holding. You see it burning fire, but it's underwater and it seems to still be able to burn this Everlight torch.
Sweet. Cool. Just my biggest fear. Cool. All right. We go in. That's what we did on the last one.
Who's going first?
I'm gonna get my scimitar out and ready and just go right through.
Okay.
I'm gonna go
as you begin
maybe
to
kind of cut some of the seaweed.
Okay, you cut out at some of it?
Yeah.
As you cut out at it, all of a sudden, reacting to your blades, several of the vines kind of pull and move, and then all of a sudden shoot out in your direction and begin to wrap around you. They're trying to grab onto your arms and your weapon and your neck. And Pack, who was pretty nearby as well, also gets grabbed. I need you to make a strength saving throw.
Yep, natural 2. Perfect.
Natural 2. You are entangled in these plants. You are restrained, so you have 0 speed and you're at disadvantage on any attacks. Pack was able to actually slip out of the way just in time and back up a couple steps and, what's this? But you see Hyde, Gamorg is just entangled in these vines that have reached out and grabbed.
And where is this? Is this outside the entrance or in the tower?
These vines were growing over the door, and within 5 feet, they've come out and just grabbed right in front. And then slowly, they begin pulling you, Gamorg, towards the doorway.
Can I do something?
Yes, you can do something, and then Mark, you'll have another chance.
I just want to go towards Gamorg and use my short sword to try to like break him out of the vines.
Okay, go ahead and roll an attack. This will be at disadvantage because you are underwater and you are moving slowly.
I'm a scaredy cat. 23 total.
23, even at disadvantage. Excellent. Go ahead and roll damage on that.
Plus 4, 9 total.
9 total. Ching, you cut a huge chunk of the vines off, and they kind of writhe around and actually release you, Gamorg. And they kind of retract, and then you see there's less of them now. There's more of an open area, but you see them just kind of wriggling and writhing in the doorway.
I think we just have to whack at them, right?
Yeah. I don't know what else to do.
If I get another action, I'm gonna just take a swing at the vines.
You can both start swinging if you want. Hargan has actually stepped forward with his short sword and is hacking at it as well. So go ahead and roll attacks.
All the attacks are at disadvantage?
They're all at disadvantage, yes.
So that's 14.
14, that hits.
22 for my second one. I got a natural
22 hits, and Hargan hits as well. So I'm going to say between the three of you, ching, 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 you're able to cut all the vines out of the way, and before long, you can step right in. One errant vine reaches out as you step through and tries to grab your wrist hide, and you just break it away. But you now step into the tower. Your timer is at 38 minutes and 40 seconds. As you step into the tower, you look around a pretty similar circular room to what you had seen before, except instead of a staircase, what you see in the middle of the room is a central stone column. It runs all the way up to where the ceiling would be and then seemingly up through. But instead of this staircase, there's just this big column in the middle. It's about 5 feet wide, 6 feet wide, very hefty, and you do see a doorway in it that is currently closed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up and see if I can open it.
Okay. You walk up to it and you jiggle the handle and it is locked, but you don't see any place for a keyhole. Instead, kind of pushing yourself back from it just a little bit, you look and see almost like a carving in the door. But as you look, you see these blocks that are carved in, kind of some various shapes, square and oblong. And you see a shape where all the blocks are in one place, and there's one, so all these blocks are like gray, and then there's one dark black block. And as you look, you almost see like a way it could slide, almost as if these blocks slide around. And in the kind of the frame of where these blocks sit, there's an opening off to the side. But you try to slide one of the gray blocks out and it won't go. It like sticks. But you take a quick look at this and you get the idea that it seems to be some sort of puzzle that potentially is, the lock on this.
Again, as you look at the room around you, you don't see any other doors, you don't see any other entrances or even windows at this level. There is just the large stone column that is extending from the floor to the top, and then on the door, this carving.
With that, you see a lock puzzle in front of you. So I would like the two of you to let me know what you would like to slide where in order to try and undo this puzzle.
Okay.
And the squares can't go out of the big square, right? They can just
They
move
have to
inside.
they have to go out the opening. Yep. So these are the gray blocks, and this is the black block.
We have to get the black one all the way down and then across.
Mm-hmm.
So if we move the two on, like, right in the middle, those two right in the middle.
Yep.
If we move them over.
Mm-hmm.
Not that one. The one right under it. Yeah. Maybe. And then move the bottom corner one over, and then the middle one down, and then the big red one down. Yeah.
Yes.
And
That's
then,
it.
sorry, the big black one down. Yeah. And then the top corner all the way over. And then the next one up.
Mm-hmm. It's easy from there.
And
the
then
middle one
over.
up and to
yeah,
the
just
right.
kind of move them all.
And then that up. Left
Maybe.
and up.
Oh, no. That's not going to work. Wait.
Isn't it? I think so, because you move just the top right. You just move it down, I think. So move that to the left and up. Yeah, and then move that all the way to the left.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Right.
And then
Yep,
go down
yep,
to the big black one.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
move that to the right. And then go up. And then all the way to the left.
All the way up.
And as you slide the black block out at this point, you hear and mechanisms happen behind the door, and you try that handle again, and the door does not open quite yet, but it feels like you could push it in if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead.
Let's both of
Push
us
it in.
try to push it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both of you push it in. The minute you give it just the smallest amount of push, boom, it flings open. And I need both of you to make strength saving throws. As a sudden vortex of water just tries to suck you into this circular column.
We got a 13.
13.
Natural 1.
A natural 1.
Oh, we're
I'm
gonna
gonna roll
drown.
for our friends here real quick. Another natural 1 and a pass. So Hargan is able to grab on to basically the outside of the doorway and keep from getting pulled in. Pack goes straight in, Hyde you go in, and Gamorg you go in. And it sucks you down and begins to shoot you downwards. It is completely black down here. And all of a sudden you hit some sort of metal, what feels like metal grating. And you just feel the oppressive force of the water just pushing down against you. Like you feel almost like pinned to this metal grating, and there's no light for you. If you have dark vision, you can see still in kind of gray tones. And after taking a moment to look around, you're still being pushed as if a waterfall is just right on top of you. But you look to the left and the right, and you just see the same circular stone walls. You see that you are on top of a metal grate that goes down into blackness beyond that. And Hyde, as your head... Do you have dark vision, Hyde?
Yep, 60 feet.
As your head turns to the left, all of a sudden you're staring face to face with a skull. And you start and you look, and there's this long, stringy black hair coming from it. The skull itself is kind of deformed, at least according to what you would assume would be like a humanoid skull. It's got like a longer appearance and a long jaw. And you look and you see the rest of a skeleton dressed in these robes. And in its hand is clutched kind of a long, wicked-looking knife.
This is bad.
Very.
Real quick, just so I get this right, it's like this cylinder that goes all the way down, and we're at the bottom. There's a metal grate that we're standing on.
You're
is it
lying
just,
on
like,
it. It has you pinned on your backs.
Got it. And
Yep.
there's like no exit. It's just a cylinder.
You don't see any exit. Looking around, make a perception check for me.
17, and perception is a lot. 24 total.
Okay.
23
You
total.
look up, and about 10 feet off of from where the grate would be, you begin to see rungs, like metal rungs in the side of the wall that go up and out. And you get the idea that, like, if you hadn't been sucked in, you could have maybe grabbed these and forced your way up. But now you're at the bottom, and it's 10 feet up to where those metal rungs are.
Can we move? Can we like get up?
Go ahead and, yeah, so you're moving against the current. Go ahead and make a strength saving throw again. Actually, at this point, it would be an athletics check.
That's an 11.
An 11?
19 total.
19 total. Pack fails as well. Hyde, out of the three of you, you are the only one who is able to make it to his feet. and you very slowly begin to pull your way over to where the wall would be. But then you look up, and it's pushing down against you, and it's 10 feet up.
Okay.
What are you doing?
And is there a constant current pushing us down?
It's constant. It's just...
Okay. Is the skull with the robe, is it looking like something's trying to kill us, or is it just kind of like a skull that's like frozen?
It's laying pinned against the ground and just not moving. It looks like someone who got trapped down here and died.
All right, great. I'm just gonna help Gamorg and Pack up. That's what I'm gonna try and do first.
Go ahead and make another athletics check with advantage, Gamorg. Pack, you're able to pull to her feet.
15.
15 is not enough. So you get Pack to her feet, and you kind of get Gamorg up, but then Gamorg, you take a step and your foot slips on the grating, and you go down to a knee, and you're not pinned like on your back anymore, but you're having a really hard time making any progress moving through this space. What's the plan? You are at 29 minutes and 22 seconds.
Yeah, no man left behind. I'm just gonna keep trying until Gamorg gets up and moving.
Okay, go ahead and make another check.
Rolling real good. So that's 17.
17's barely not enough to meet the DC.
Jeez.
You have made your way. I want to say at this point they've dragged you over to the wall. At this point they're making progress, but in with these rolls in this moment, Gamorg, you're not actually helping them or helping the situation. You're kind of in a horrible way to put it, but the dead weight of the group at the moment. And yeah, just that extra weaponry and armor just seems to be kind of holding you down. But you've all made your way to the edge, and the rungs are 10 feet up. What are you doing?
I'm gonna try again. Just keep trying to get up.
Trying to just stand up straight, or is there anything else you're trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll again. Your goal being to stand up straight.
This is insane.
Oh,
I
no.
rolled 2 4s in a row.
Ugh.
So that's not enough.
Just having a hard time. Yeah, Hyde, what are you doing in this moment?
I see that Gamorg's still struggling, but I want to get Pack. What race is Pack? Is she
Pack is a goblin.
Goblin. Okay, cool. If I give her a boost with my hands, is she gonna reach the rungs?
How tall are you?
I think I'm like 6 feet.
Okay. Yeah, just barely. I would say, goes up to about 7 feet with your hands raised, and then, her little frame would be over 3 feet total to be able to reach up there. So I'll need you to make an athletics check to balance her, and she's going to make an acrobatics check. Actually, it's athletics again.
Natural 20. I'm rolling so well.
Natural 20, okay. So you begin to push her up. And at one point, she begins to slip away from the wall, and with that would just be careened off. And you reach up and grab the small of her back and push her against the wall, and continue as far as you can. You hold her there, and then she begins to get her fingers into things, and then all of a sudden, boom! Her tiny goblin hand grabs the bottom rung, and she begins very slowly pulling her way up, and she goes for quite a ways, and you almost lose sight of her with your 60-foot dark vision before you see Hargan's hand come down and grab hers, and they continue to make their way up the ladder rungs. Nice. And you see that little bit of magical light disappear above you.
Right, buddy. Just you and me.
I'm gonna take out a rope.
Okay.
Which I think I have. Yeah, I have 50 feet of rope, and I'm gonna try to get up again.
Okay.
I want to help him this time because it's just me and him.
Yep, he's got advantage. Yep.
All right, there we go. So that's 24.
24. Finally, after having a moment to steady yourself, you get up to your feet and you're finding your strength against this current. It's slow, but you're able to move of your own accord without help.
Can I lift? I'm just gonna look at Hyde. Can I lift you up and you take this rope with you and pull me up with you once you get up to the top? Okay.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna try to lift up Hide.
Okay, straight athletics checks for the both of you, please.
Natural 19.
Excellent.
Athletics, you said?
Yes.
5 total.
5 total. Okay. What's your total, Gamorg?
That would be 27.
27. Okay, I'm going to say that the 27 is enough to compensate for the 5. That's a pretty heck of a good roll. So again, same thing. Hyde begins to move away, and you actually take a step back and push him against the wall. Like, you got his feet, and you're, like, guiding him towards everything. Just being in the water allows you to kind of maneuver each other a little bit more. And yes, Hyde, once you kind of get up on basically shoulder height with Gamorg, you're able to reach up and grab the rung and then hold the rope down for Gamorg. And I'm going to say that without too much trouble, you continue to pull each other up, and eventually both of you get on the rungs, and you slowly begin to make your ascent up this central column.
Got it. Cool. Yeah, go up as fast as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
It takes a little while, but you do finally get to the top, where waiting for you, still underwater, but kind of out of the main kind of downward funnel, and on another level are Hargan and Pack. And it's the strangest thing, because the water's still pushing against you the entire way up this column. But as soon as your hand or head breaks the surface of that plane where it goes from column to room, the pressure stops. And you pull yourselves out, and you look down into a vortex of sorts, but it's not siphoning more water from this room. It seems to be some sort of magical kind of push of water down through this central chamber.
Was it just a trap, or is there like stairs going up?
There was a trapdoor. Now that you've gone up the column, so you went past where you initially were and went up into a trapdoor that had been put open, and now you're in another chamber. You do not see any stairs leading anywhere else in this chamber. It is a very small room. It's about 15 by 15 circular, but there is another door that stands off to the side.
Let's just check on. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Hargan looks at you both. It's like, "Are you all right? That was unexpected."
Been better. This sucks a lot, but let's keep going.
Let's go. Let's do this.
All right. I don't know what that means. And he kind of gestures over towards the door. And you walk over there, and what you see is an ornate wooden door that has not been touched by time and by the seawater. In the center, there is a metal plaque that has the outline, and it's like indented a little bit, of roughly a hand. Doesn't look quite, maybe, like it's pretty broad, so that it's not like thin fingers or anything, like it would fit one person, but you can tell from kind of the rough shape, it's meant for a hand. And above it, what languages better question, do either of you speak Elvish?
I doubt it.
I don't think so, but let me just double check.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay. So you're looking, and you see this scrawling above it, and you're not able to read what it is. Hargan comes over your shoulder and says, all it says is a tithe.
Okay.
I don't know what that means. I assume we're supposed to put our hands on it, but I haven't done it yet.
I try to put my hand on it.
Okay, you put your hand on it. Your hand goes onto it, and you feel an immediate, just burning sensation of pain. As it feels as if you've been stabbed with needles all the way across your palm. You try to take your hand away, and you can't remove it.
Oh, that sucks.
And the more you see blood beginning to ooze out from around the waters. Hyde, what are your maximum hit points?
Oh, this was a mistake, everyone. 47.
47. Okay.
This was a mistake.
Let me do some quick math.
When the DM does math, it's never good.
You lose 5 hit points, and your maximum hit points reduced by 5, as 10% of your life force is taken from you in this tithe. But after a moment, pain subsides and your hand comes free, and you look and you have little pinprick marks all over your palm and your fingers. It hurts real bad, and there's a little bit of blood still floating in the water. But then the door, an invisible line splits in it down the middle and becomes visible, and the door ever so slightly opens up of its own accord. It doesn't open all the way, just kind of slowly opens a bit.
Ow.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to Hyde, kind of. Okay, you just hang out for a second. You don't need to get any more.
You are just under 20 minutes left.
I'm gonna slowly and very carefully push the doors open.
Okay. You push the doors open, and you see a chamber very similar to the one that you met the Emerald Council in. You see a large open space, very simple in its making. The two things that stand out in this room, by the way, there are so I guess 3 things. There are Everlight torches around, giving light to the space. There is a mirror on the other side, similar to the mirror you saw before. However, this one, you don't see anything currently showing in it, and there are these kind of dormant runes carved all the way around it. They're not glowing, but there's these stone strips that have runes carved in it. And then in the center of the room, there is a small obelisk or plinth that juts up from the floor, and on top of it sits a large red gem. What do you do?
I go in after Gamark.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think? Should we just break the mirror?
Wait, before, let's just kind of look around the room to see if there's anything. I mean, we see the chairs, we see the gem, we see the mirror.
Torches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I go up to the mirror and just inspect it?
Yeah, so you go up and look at the mirror, and you're not seeing another realm the way you did before. You're barely seeing your own reflection. You have to get real close, and it's real fuzzy. But if anything, it's reflecting this room.
All right.
I'm gonna go up to the gem and just put my hand near it. Just not touch it,
okay.
But just put my hand close to it and see if I feel heat or anything around it.
Okay. You walk up and put your hand near the gem. A couple things you notice right away. One is that there's no heat, but there is just a slight vibration. The other thing you notice is that on this plinth, there is a bit of inscription in the same language as the door outside.
Hargan, I'm gonna ask him if he can read
comes
that.
In at your request.
Didn't he read the...
He did, yeah. So he walks over and he looks at it and he goes, it just says, an offering. And as he steps closer to it, though, there was ambient light in the room, but you realize as you look at him, his Everlight torch has gone out as he has stepped towards this gem. And he kind of backs up a little bit, and as soon as he gets about 10 feet away from it, the torch reignites.
Interesting. Hyde, what do you think?
I mean, it kind of sounds like you have to, I don't know, offer yourself in some way. I don't know. I feel like any gold or anything like that is probably not gonna do the trick. But even if it did, I don't have any gold, so.
Should we break the mirror? I really want to break the mirror.
Yes. I feel like that's probably a better idea than just grabbing the stone. Last time I just grabbed something, it was terrible, so. Okay, an offering. If I look at
you hear all of a sudden a shout as you turn around and see Pack pushing against the doorway where you all came in. And she's going, what is this? What is this? There's no door there, but she's pushing and can't get through. Similar to the way you couldn't get back out of the Black Tower when you went in it in Eachton.
And she's inside trying to get out.
She stepped inside, tried to go back out, and is now stuck inside.
Got it.
She's inside.
All four of you are in the room now.
Yep.
All four of you are in the room.
Got it.
You're at about 15 minutes.
Well, that's not good. We have to figure out how to get out of here now.
So, two things. We can either try to shatter the mirror, or we can try to shatter the gem, or grab the gem, or something. But I have a feeling that if we grab the gem, it's gonna like hurt us badly.
I'm gonna, since I have my scimitar out, I'm gonna just like put the blade up to the gem and just see if anything happens to the blade when I touch it.
Okay, you tap the gem with the blade. Nothing happens. Do you tap it in such a way to disturb the gem or just to press against it?
Just to see if anything happens on contact.
Nothing happens on contact. Nope.
I am gonna just reach out and just very gently touch it with the finger, like the tip of my finger.
Okay. Gloved or bare hand?
Yeah, I think I'm wearing gloves. Yeah.
Okay. Touch it with your gloved finger. Nothing happens.
I'm gonna just like try to grab it and see if I can move it at all.
Okay. You grab it and give it a tug, and it pulls right out. It's a little bit, diamond shaped in that it was kind of set in, but it pulls out as if nothing was keeping it there. As you do that, several things happen. First being that the runes around the mirror light up, and the mirror shimmers, almost like a pool of water, and you see an image behind it, which I will describe if anyone decides to stay and look. The other thing that happens is the plinth, the writing on it, and runes carved around it glow as well. And the third thing that happens is that Pack falls through where she had been pushing against the door. The fourth thing that happens is that you hear a grinding sound, and you look and see the walls turning. And it's hard to put your finger on exactly how this is happening, but as they turn, they're constricting. The doorway itself, the wide double doorway, is getting smaller. The space where the mirror was, two walls are encroaching in on it, and the entire room is starting to shrink as it turns and rotates.
I'm just gonna run out the door.
Okay.
Question. Am I closer to a mirror than Gamorg was? I feel like Gamorg was closer to the plinth.
Sorry. There was one little bit of detail that is important for you to know for this puzzle to work. And so I'm going to say, Hyde, you saw this. The moment Gamorg's hand grabbed the gem, Pack fell through before anything else happened. Then he pulled it out. Just so you know, that was the order of events.
Well, before I run out, as I see stuff changing, I'm just gonna immediately drop it back in.
Yeah, you drop it back in, nothing changes.
It goes back to, or stops changing.
Nope, nothing changes. Everything continues in motion. The runes are lit up. The wall is changing.
Okay.
You kind of pick it up and put it down, pick it up and put it down. Doesn't do anything.
Okay. And I'm just gonna be like, run. Let's get out of here.
Okay. You run towards the door and you hit the wall of force. Pack is on one side, and you hit it, and you can't get through.
I'm gonna try to. And you're still grabbing the gem, right, Gamorgan? You're touching it.
Yeah, I have the gem in my hand at this point, I think. As I was lifting it up, did I notice, was the mirror changing?
No,
or was it still
was not.
just...
It was staying the same. Yep. And the image you see. Yeah, I'll describe the image you see later because we're pressed on time because you got 10 minutes and 44 seconds.
Okay. So okay, I don't know what to do.
I go by the plinth, and I just I don't know. Is there anything that I can grab or touch in the plinth? Like I start grabbing, shifting, touching things, investigating.
Nothing moves on the plinth itself. No, the only thing that seems to move is the gem. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to the mirror. Is there like an image that's in the mirror?
There is. The image in the mirror is one of a lush green forest with amazingly large plants and exotic-looking different animals and growing things. And you see this deer with the tail of a fox and strange glowing horns go walking by a tree, and all of a sudden the tree splits open into a large mouth with teeth and engulfs the entire deer hole.
Wow. Yep. That's not it.
Not good.
That's not the exit. Does Pack? Can she touch the? Oh no, because it's already.
Her hand goes through. She got on the other side. Her hand goes through and comes back out. Like she could probably come back in if she wanted to.
Can she grab someone and pull them out?
Hargan tries it, and Hargan sticks against the wall of force. And he's shouting now. He's like, "What did you do? How did you get her out?" The doorway's getting smaller.
Is the mirror?
Oh! You know what? Put the thing back and then touch it, right? Because that's what you did. You touched it, and then that happened, right?
Okay. Yeah, put it back, and then.
As you put it back in and keep your hand on it, Pack pulls Hargan through. And he's now on the other side.
Okay.
And the walls continue to close in tighter.
Okay, so when I take my hand off of it... then they can't...
Then Hyde tries to get through and he can't.
That's the sacrifice. Somebody has to stay here and hold this.
Well, we can't do that.
Is the mirror, like, is it bolted to the wall? Like, how is it?
Make an investigation check for me real quick.
What are we gonna do?
Not good. 4.
A 4. Hard to tell. It's detached to the wall somehow. You kind of try to get your fingers behind it, and you can't see if it's built in or bolted in. Yeah.
I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with the gem. I'm just gonna touch my sword blade to it slightly.
To the mirror itself?
To the surface of the mirror.
It ripples like water.
Oh no.
I don't think we can. Or maybe we go through. That's the only way.
I'm gonna just put my hand with the gem through it and see what happens.
Okay. As you pick the gem up again, make an intelligence, or no, make an arcana check.
I think we have to go through. That's
7.
the only way we both get out.
You don't know what this item is. You don't know what this gem is. What you do know from having interacted with it several times is that it is vibrating. Like magical items buzz a little bit in this world. It is vibrating on a level of nothing you've ever touched before. Whatever this is, and whatever it can do, is incredibly powerful.
Do you think we just have to go through because we can't, like, the only way that we both get out is if we go through the mirror into this forest place. Otherwise, someone's staying here and someone's leaving.
Yeah. I want to put this through and see what happens. I'm just going to put my hand through with the gem.
You walk towards it, and the runes, as you get close to it, like within a 5 feet radius, the runes go dark, and the mirror stops reflecting the same thing.
Oh, maybe the magic stops when you have the gem. So maybe go towards the door with the gem. Do you think that would work?
Yeah, I'll go towards the door.
You go towards the door, and as you leave the area where the light is, I'm sorry. When you leave the area where the mirror is, it lights back up, and then as you go towards the other doorway, which has gotten thinner than a normal door at this point, you walk through. But then your hand stops, and the gem. He walks through, but his hand stops, and the gem doesn't come with.
Okay, so we can't take the gem.
And you pull a little bit. Like, it's not a hard stop. There's this kind of feeling of, like, tension.
Okay,
so you pull
I'm
a
just
little
gonna...
bit. Yeah, make a strength check.
Yeah.
Can I help him too with that?
Come on,
help him
dice. For real this time. I'm gonna use a luck point on this.
Okay.
And also, I don't know if it would help, but maybe I can grab it and pull through.
Or,
Maybe I can grab
that
his
gives
body.
me advantage.
Pushing it from the other side, I'd say that gives you advantage, yeah.
Sure.
That's, yep, I'm gonna use a luck point, because that was a natural one, so. Okay, that's, 18.
An 18? Okay. You push, and it gets through the doorway. And you're now holding this gem. On the outside. The door stops turning. But it is, like, you think you can get out high, but it's really thin at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna try to get out.
And you look back behind you one last time, and you see the mirror lit up, and you begin to see creatures coming towards towards where the mirror is. Just various woodland beings. And then you hear a voice in your head hide. Not beckon, not Siki. You hear it echo throughout the chamber, and Gamorg, you hear it as well as you listen. And you just hear a...
An opening. A blessing. An opportunity. A way in. Thank you, servants. Thank you.
What are you doing? You have 3 minutes.
We gotta put the gem back. I don't know.
Well, no,
this,
we
but,
can't.
yeah.
We can't because if we put the gem back, then we can't get out.
No, I think once we get out of the bubble, well, no, that's true.
If we put the gem back, then everything stops, right? And then when you put your hand on the gem, the door opens.
No.
That's the first thing, right?
Everything
didn't
continues
stop it.
rotating, but yes, the door only opens when a hand is on the gem and being held there.
The door, as in the mirror.
And then when the gem is in the plinth and there's nothing touching it, nothing happens, right? And then there's like that barrier, like we can't get out.
Right, correct. 2 minutes. You have extra time after this, but you're going to start cutting into your time to get back to the surface.
I'm gonna go back in with the gem.
Okay.
What are we gonna do, Gamorg? We can't. I feel like we just messed this up, and if we both want to get out alive, we'd have to take the jump.
If I go. So when I come back in, is the mirror lit up?
Yes, and as you walk the gem, do you walk the gem through?
Yeah.
The rotation continues.
I'm gonna go back over to the mirror with the gem.
Okay.
So it'll turn off again.
The mirror
So
turns
will turn
off. The rotation continues.
Can I set the gem on the floor? If
You set it down? Yes.
and then does the mirror still light up?
No. As long as it's in vicinity
gonna-
of the mirror, it stays.
Run back to the door.
You run back to the door, and you can't get through. The wall of force is there.
Can I try to break the mirror with my short sword?
Are you in the room as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna also try to break it.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was in the room.
Roll
Gamora came
attacks.
back
Roll
in.
attacks. You got very little time. I'm gonna save you the time. Your weapons hit
13.
it, and they cling off. It's a magical item. You realize you're not gonna be able to break it like this easily. You have 20
We
seconds.
have to take the gem. We have to take the gem and get out. Otherwise, we're gonna die drowning in here. Or we can't do anything else, Gamora.
6 seconds. So you're starting to eat into your time.
Okay.
We messed it up. We'll fix it later. But if we both want to leave, we gotta go.
Okay, I'll take the gem and go.
Okay, go ahead and make another strength check with advantage to get through.
Both of us?
Yeah, and the door, you are shimmying through at this point.
My dice is broken. Because
We got a 14 total.
14 total.
11.
And 11. You guys push through. And as you're going, you get the gem out. And who had the higher one?
Me, 14.
14. You get out first, Hyde. And Gamorg, you push. And you push. And the doors continue to push. And now it's against your chest. And it's pushing. And in the last second, Hyde pulls you. And as your arm trails behind you, you get pinched by the door. And it crushes your hand. You're gonna take some damage.
I'm using another luck point.
Another luck point. Okay.
So that instead of an 11, that would be a 14.
14, same as Hyde. You feel it pinch your finger.
Okay.
You take 1 point of damage from a finger pinch. And the last thing you hear before the door together is that same whispering voice just say,
"Oh, thank you. One step closer."
and then I assume you rush back out.
Yeah, as fast as we can.
Okay. As fast as you can, you begin rushing back out towards the entrance, your exit. Go ahead and I'm going to say just roll dexterity checks for me to see how fast you move your way through everything.
20
20
total.
Nice.
17 total.
17 total. Okay. Gamorg, you have no problem getting through everything. I'm going to roll real quick for Pack and Hargan. Good for Pack. Not so great for Hargan. Hargan begins to lag behind and hide in your attempt to help him keep up. You also end up falling behind just a little bit. You are maybe a minute behind the rest of the group. But you all begin to kick your way up towards the surface. It is a long ascent. And in the ascent, your air begins to leave you a little bit. Gamorg, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw to basically maintain your holding your breath here in these last moments as the spell wears out. It's a lower DC for you.
22.
22. Easy enough. You are able to hold your breath for the last couple of minutes of the ascent and make your way to the top. Hyde, I need you to make one at disadvantage, please.
17 for the first one.
It's longer for you.
Natural 1.
Natural 1. And Hargan rolled a natural 1 as well. As the two of you are trying to make your way to the top, you run out of air. So you hold your breath. And you continue kicking and pushing. But Hyde, the darkness around you is starting to make you panic. And the thought of being lost here, away from Luna, in the endless ocean, combined with the fear of whatever you may have just unleashed, is making you panic. And you begin to retch. Gamorg, you surface. Pack surfaces with you. And you wait for a moment. And a few more moments. You see the ship. Hyde and Hargan aren't coming up.
I'm gonna dive down and see if I can see him.
Okay, you hold your breath, you dive down, make a perception check.
Perception is it's a 16.
16. You look and you just barely catch the outline of them. It's hard to see because they're not moving. They're just floating. Both Hargan and Hyde just unconscious under the water.
I'm gonna swim towards them and see if I can pull them up.
Okay. You swim towards them. Takes you a moment. And you grab them. It's gonna be slow going bringing them both. Are you trying to bring them both with you?
Yeah.
Okay. You bring them up. Slowly. Eventually, you break the surface of the water. A lifeline is thrown out to you. Pack is already called ahead to the ship and are able to pull you up. But by the time you get up to the top, Hargan is not breathing. And Hyde, I'm not going to take away all your agency here. So you're unconscious. I'd like you to roll a death save for me.
17.
17. Okay. You feel a pulse in Hyde, but he is not breathing currently.
Can I try to stabilize him?
You can. Roll a medicine check. The DC is 10.
Not enough. That's a 7.
7.
Is it, am I on the deck at this
You
point?
are. Yep.
Can I yell for, like, medical help?
Yep.
Like,
the deckhands begin yelling. They're yelling for Stitches to come up and join. But it's going to take a couple moments before he's, in vicinity as he's making his way up.
Can I try again?
I need Hyde to roll another death save in between.
Okay, yeah.
I always knew I was gonna die in the ocean. Just so you
Luna
know.
has come over and is licking his face.
You got a 5.
5, so that's the first fail. Gamora, do you want to make another medicine check?
Yeah, I'm going to try again.
Okay.
Okay, that's a 15.
A 15. With that, you begin giving him CPR, essentially, and mouth to mouth, and you are able to eventually get him to cough up water. And Hyde, you have 1 hit point, and you are groggy and have a headache like all get out, but you are alive. You turn your attention to Hargan, the first mate, and good morning as you reach over and check for a pulse. You don't feel one. A moment later, the doctor makes a dwarven man, very rare to see, but a dwarven man makes his way up and kind of rushes over, does what he can to try and revive Hargan, and eventually declares him passed as well.
I know I'm super groggy and probably incredibly out of it, but healing magic doesn't work?
Once the life has already left his body, you can try it, but...
I need to speak to the captain.
She's
gonna pass
there.
out on the deck.
She is there. She is kind of right there with the rest of the crew.
Okay, so that didn't go well.
Obviously not.
We got to the top of the tower, and this gem was up there, and we picked it up and set off some traps, and the mirror that we described to you from before, there was another one there opening into some other realm, and the mirror was activated and we couldn't get out. The only way we could get out was to bring the gem with us with the mirror activated. So I don't know what's...
She kind of hangs her head a little bit and just takes a deep sigh. A problem for tomorrow's sun. Today, I have crew members to honor and bury.
I'm very sorry. I tried to save him.
Appreciate that. turns and moves away. The rest of the crew cleans up, makes the necessary repairs to the ship for it to be seaworthy again, as best they can without being at port. Later that evening, with both Cricket and Hyde barely able to stand but still in attendance, the names of the lost crew members are read as the captain, in her best, speaks in front of the entire crew. We lost good men and women this day. Ones whose spirits were of the sea, and they knew the risks, but we honor and miss them still. And she takes out a list. Lincoln Springstep, Quartermaster, we commit your body to Boreador. And the one of the bodies that was still left from the encounter with the sea serpent is tipped overboard. Owen Smith, deckhand, lost at sea. We commit your spirit to Boreador. Belgrace Tiflo, deckhand, lost at sea. We commit your spirit to Boreador. Hargan Est, first mate, we commit your body and your spirit to Boreador. And Hargan's body is tipped over the side. Captain kind of sniffs and composes herself. Let us not let what they died for be in vain. We make for port. 2 days. And she goes off into her quarters. Cricket kind of turns to both of you. I'm sorry I wasn't there. I would have stayed behind. Left myself in the drink, if need be. I understand why you didn't. You're not cowards. It's a hard choice. Not one you really were ready to make, nor should we have asked you to make. But now we have that. He kind of points towards the red gem. We better figure out if it was worth it.
I'm just gonna hand him the gem, so I'm not.
He takes it. It's buzzing. It's like a bunch of bees. I'm not one for much for magic items. Are either of you arcane folk?
I know some people inside my head. Maybe they can help me.
You're a strange one. He hands it over to you.
I just pocket it for now. I hate the ocean. It sucks.
And with what you've lost behind you, and unclear knowledge of what you may have opened up to the world, however, some sort of artifact in your possession that may be helpful. Your other friend scattered somewhere else across the country of Alsan. You bed down and wait to make port.